Charles Oliveira is trying to go out like Justin Poirier, and Dana is against it. As far as I'm confirmed, Charles Oliveira should be thankful. He should be giddy. He has just received what we would refer to affectionately in the MMA community as a blessing in the skies. Charles Oliveira is nearing the end. He's circling the drain. And I say this as someone who was once the biggest Charles Oliveira fan. I am the one who, way back before it was cool, was not only rooting for Charles Oliveira, but was saying he is going to be the next champion once Khabib Nurmagomedov retires. And people laughed. They were like, have you heard? Have you heard of Dustin Gaethje? The highlight reel? You're talking about Charles Oliveira, the journeyman? Have you not seen Dustin Gaethje? Have you not heard? Someone's gonna accidentally jump the ghillie. Have you not heard of Justin Poirier? I was being real about those two individuals long before anybody wanted to admit it. People were still... People were acting up. In case you forgot, people around that time, they were not only trying to make me feel dumb, they were not only trying to make me believe that Justin Poirier, that Dustin Gaethje had a shot. These are the same people that were trying to tell me that Tony Ferguson would be the next undisputed champion. And I ain't talking about celebrity boxing either. These people were trying to tell me Poirier, Gaethje, Ferguson, and I said, no, Chale, Oliveira. I told them like this. And they didn't want to listen. And he became the champion. And I know everybody says this. I know the moment anybody becomes a champion, immediately, instantaneously, they become the greatest ever. We live in a period where the moment somebody becomes a champion, they are the greatest ever. They're the GOAT. That's how it is. Recency bias, TikTok brain. That's how everybody is these days. The next event, the next UFC event that we watch, and I don't even know when it is. Saturday, could be a fight night, could be a pay-per-view, whatever. Whoever wins, they're the GOAT now. That's how it goes. And I was telling everyone it was going to be Charles Oliveira. They laughed, and I was right. And he went on a reign where people were calling him the GOAT, the greatest ever. He kept winning. And here's a claim that I made recently, and I stand by. When Charles Oliveira won the title, when he won it and kept defending it, he was already past his prime. Yeah. I'm saying this. That's cute. You want to get offended? That's cute. I'm saying this as a bigger Oliveira fan than you could ever wish to be. Get over yourself. I'm saying this as the person that was rooting for him more than anyone, that believed in him more than anyone. He was past his prime. And I know there's some simpletons out there. I've encountered them. What do you mean? How is he gonna win a title and defend it as many times as he did if he wasn't at his prime? Because he was that good. I've watched, now I don't know if you've done this, because sometimes people are a fan of someone and they haven't even seen all their fights. They became a fan like when the fighter made his Bohemian Rhapsody, you know, whatever big event that was, that's all they know. And then from then on, you know, the people that only know Conor McGregor's fight against Nate Diaz part 1, and from then on, the people that only know Nate Diaz from the Conor fight and that fight on, and haven't even seen anything before that. I have seen every single Charles Oliveira round. He was not in his prime when he won the title and defended it. I'm saying all of this to say that it's time for Charles Oliveira to ride off into the sunset. And none of us like it. Do you want to see Tony Ferguson back in the octagon? Like, what kind of example do I need to give you? Do you want to see BJ Penn back in the octagon? There comes that time. There comes the time in every fighter's life where he needs to go box Jake Paul. And we may be there. Maybe not quite as far along. Maybe we could give him Salt Papi first. Maybe we'll give him Mike Tyson first. But it is an inevitability. It happens. Father Time is undefeated. Unless you're talking about Enoch or Elisha. But that's neither here either. Charles Oliveira is very frustrated right now. And I don't know why. He should be thankful because he just received a blessing in the skies. Nobody wants to fight him. His opponent pulled out. He can't find anyone else to fight him. He's like Hamza Chamoyev all over again a few years ago. Nobody wanted to fight him. Nobody wants to fight Charles Oliveira. And he's going on social media and he's upset about it and he's complaining about it. And he should be thanking God. He should be on his knees thanking God. You know what happened to Charles Oliveira? It's like when you're a kid and you're looking under your bed for a monster. And you don't find the monster. There's no monster there. You know what you're supposed to do? Whoo! Whoo! Thank you. Well, Charles Oliveira's not doing that. What you're not supposed to do is go on Twitter talking about how the monsters punked out and didn't show up. You're supposed to be thankful. You know why? Because you're not supposed to want the monsters to be there. Now, I know for some people who live off the adrenaline a little bit, I know some people need the thrill. They need that thrill. It's kind of the chase of looking for the monster. And then maybe when the monster's not there, you're like, man, I was ready. I was just waiting for that monster to give me a reason. But at the end of the day, even at the beginning of the day, because some of us have different schedules in the household. Some of your parents work graveyard or whatever. At the end of the day, even at the beginning of the day, everybody's life is different. Ultimately, you don't want the monster under the bed. Trust me. It's like when my little dog barks and then you step up to him and he's like, oh snap, never mind. What'd you think? You thought I wasn't going to step up? Tarinto Ruthless. Charles wants that Gucci. He's changed, bro. He's lost. Tarinto, I'm telling you. Now, I'm not going to get too much into that part of the story right now. I did have my fall off with Oliveira when he became a little bit full of himself. When he started rocking that Gucci, he started spending more time in the Gucci store than he did on the mats. He got a little bit too, because you know how it's like the blondes just wanna have fun. Oh, blondes just wanna have. That's all they really. That's the when he went blonde, when he went Gucci. And that's when I had to part ways and be like, you know what? I can't vouch for this. Because he became a different person. He started acting different. He started moving different. And he started losing. You cannot serve both the fight game and Gucci. You could only have one. Charles Oliveira has been deprived of monsters. And he's complaining about this. The event is in Brazil, by the way. And I think Oliveira has been gifted with this blessing of not having to go out like Justin Poirier. It was a sad thing to watch, and I've never been a big fan of Poirier. There was just always something about him that rubbed me the wrong way. Something that seemed, I don't know, smug, inauthentic. I don't know. I never loved the dude. And it was a shame that he had, you know, I don't hate him. I don't hate him. And it was a shame to have to watch the dude go out on his Chile in front of his hometown. I would have been happy for him if he got to win in front of his hometown. And Oliveira is in a position where he's basically spared of having to go out in that same way. And he is not taking the opportunity. He's not accepting it for what it is. He's going to go to Brazil and he wants to fight a monster and it's going to go sideways. He's not at that part in his career right now. Charles Oliveira has the ability to go out on top right now like Seinfeld. He has the ability to say, hey, nobody wants none of this. Nobody wants none of this. I was trying to take him out of my hometown. I was trying to fight him in Brazil. They don't want it. They're getting sick. They can't make weight. They're too far. They're on vacation. Nobody wants none of this. And he could say, you know what? I'm going to have to retire because nobody wants a piece of this. And then he could go out looking like a savage. And people be like, dang, like years from now, years removed, before people know like how it really was. Like if you go down the road, they're gonna be like, dang, that fool was supposed to have one more event in his hometown and nobody was willing to fight him. He must have been a savage. And he could be legendary for that. But now he keeps going on social media, calling everyone a punk, and someone's gonna come out the woodwork and make him regret it. He should take the blessing. And there's a part of me, there is a little part of me, because you know Dana's always pulling the strings. Dana doesn't want to let the American that has the greatest shot at beating the Brit fight out the White House. Another thing that Dana's doing, there's a piece of me that thinks that maybe Dana doesn't want Oliveira to fight again. Because if Oliveira gets trashed, if he gets beat, all that's going to do is make Ilia Tapuera not look so great. Because this by the way, like everyone already forgot about it, right? It just proves the whole recency bias thing. People get way too excited when something happens in the moment. People already forgot about it. But they were calling it the best 3-fight win streak in UFC history. Even though that we already know that was Poirier, McGregor, and Gaethje for Khabib Nurmagomedov, because all those dudes were in their prime at those times. Anyway, when Tapuera defeated Max Holloway, Volkanovski, Oliveira, none of these dudes were in their prime. I will remind you, I made videos like every day talking about it for weeks. I know you guys were sick of hearing it. Max Holloway isn't just back into his prime because he got a pump, because he got a cute little pump and got some muscles. That doesn't put you back in your prime. You have to consider who these people are fighting, who those people lost to, the manner in which they are winning, and so on and etc. You think about the ways in which Volkanovski just lost his prior fight. I mean, yeah, he beat Makhachev the first time, but then how he lost, the battle that was. And then he took another fight way too quick, way too short notice, had to cut way too much weight too fast, got a head kick, got knocked out, went into another fight way too fast again. You're going to count that? And then Oliveira, the Brazilian zombie that was already way too... That's what we're dealing with here. Now, if you go on top of that and take Tapuera's most recent victory, after he's already ducking Sarukian left and right, you take his most recent victory against Oliveira and then show someone else destroy that dude, it's gonna lower the impact. It's gonna lower Tapuera's stock, especially since he's that ethnic Conor McGregor and running his mouth out there and acting like he could stand toe to toe with Crawford. I told you people that Canelo, I was the only one willing to talk about it. With these colors on. I was the only one willing to tell you, you know what? Yeah, Canelo's gonna lose. Canelo's finally gonna lose a fight that he lost. Cause somehow, he's always like, even when I lose, I win. Every time Canelo would lose, he would still win somehow. And I said, finally, he's going to lose the fight that he lost. I knew that Canelo was going to lose. Does anybody think that Tapuera has a chance against Crawford? The dude is delusional and his wins are padded and they're artificial. Dana White does not want Oliveira to fight again because it's going to make Tapuera look worse, and he needs Tapuera to make money.